I broke the lever of the ice cream machine and they fired me. I forget my shopping bags when I go shopping. I spill food everywhere when I eat. I forget my laptop when I go to work. Where my phone is. Or actually that I wear lenses instead of glasses. Everyone calls me Doris. It all started with my cousin.
Doris!
And the day I heard that nickname from my colleagues too, I was like, sorry, like how? How do you know? How did you connect? And so when people from different groups commonly raise one pattern in your character, it's becoming really serious. I must admit that I must be the clumsiest person in the world. And if anyone out there wants to beat me, comment down below. Do you think that you are clumsy? And if so, what makes you clumsy? At the age of 16, as my parents didn't have enough money, I got a student job for pocket money. So I worked in a fast food restaurant. It was my first job ever, and you know, first times are always the most memorable. Long story short, after 1 week, I broke the lever of the ice cream machine and they fired me. First conclusion, in my subconscious as a kid that is still growing, I can't keep a job for more than 2 weeks. Fortunately, I got a second job in another restaurant. I was at checkout once and let's say I got a little messed up with the cashback. A customer gives me a 50 euros bill and with my clumsy memory, I bet that I had given his money back. And he goes like, "Where is my money? Where is my money?" I got terrified that I had made a mistake again and that I was about to lose my job again. It smelled very bad for my future, like very, very bad. So I called my manager. We had to close my checkout and move all the queue to another checkout, a queue of 20 to 30 people awaiting during a rush hour, and that made things 20 times worse. Eventually, they kept me, but I was very doubtful on my ability to keep a job. After my higher studies, I went through emptiness professionally. I got a master's degree from a grande école and I was supposed to have the highest chance to land a job at the exit, but it didn't happen. I remember desperately applying for jobs in my field. I remember that HR, who from the second I enter her office, I know it's already done. It's the flashes in her eyes. And the interview confirmed it. Apparently, I was not suitable to lead a team of male because I look so tiny, you see? Or that first interview that I got for an IT consulting company. I don't know why my first times are always the worst, but I'm glad that it happened this way in preparation for the best to come. IT was not my original field, but I had to find a job, to find money. I saw the manager from far too, and his eyes screaming like, "Oh, what the... Who's that girl?" I don't understand his look until his comment, "Do you think consultants wear sneakers?" So I have a glance at my feet, and indeed, I'm wearing Stan Smith. Apparently, consultants are very boring people. After a few months of unemployment, I decided to apply for a student job again. And it definitely doesn't fit me. I landed a job as a receptionist. It was very cool, very laid down. I loved it, except my coworkers didn't love me. After 1 week, I got fired again. Another job that I couldn't keep. At that point, there was no hope for a brighter future in my career. It had been 4 months since I wasn't employed. 4 months that I feel I put my life on hold because I didn't have a job, so I didn't have money, and I couldn't go out, enjoy life with my friends, even for a drink. I simply didn't live. A big recruiting show occurred in Paris. It was the opportunity to maybe meet my future recruiter. I went there. It was almost the end of the show. And in that almost sat a miracle, my blessing. I had only one resume left, and as it was the last one, it was also the worst one. The corner was crinkled, it was torn. But that's okay, because I've learned that your blessing doesn't depend on what you give, on the giver, but on the receiver. And that's also about destiny, about the plan. He asked me some questions. It was a very simple discussion, chill, like none that I had ever had before in those interviews. The question I remember most is, do you have any opinions for IT? I originally don't come from the IT field, but I love how they stressed not who you are, what you know, but what you are able to learn, your potential. And so I said, why not? 4 more months went on, and there was still no sign that I'd be hired soon. We were at few months from back to school, and I had to think of a backup plan. I stopped applying for my dream job and thought of going back to school. If I couldn't work still, I could study. And one day, as I was applying for my work-study training program, I got a special phone call. An HR from the company that had welcomed me during the fair was inviting me to a recruiting session. And honestly, I had no big hope, as failure seemed like a series to me. But I got excited and determined, okay, let's do it. That's literally my ultimate chance to land a full-time, permanent, real job up to my studies. So let's kick it. Though I had known failure all along, I still gave this opportunity its opportunity to prove me that failure is not fatality. And I was happy because for once, for this last one, I didn't chase the opportunity. It went for me. I was fed up and tired of applying for some more. So this ring bell was like the little sign from heaven, the little light at the end that says, hey, I see you. I see that you have never given up, that you've given your all, your best. And so that's my present to you. After 9 months, I finally conquered one of the top 10 IT consulting companies worldwide with a crinkled and torn resume. Previous opportunities simply didn't fit my standard. The one where I was too great to lead their team. The one where I was too cool to work for them. And the student jobs where I had too much worth to stay with crappy attitudes. Never underestimate clumsiness. Value attracts value of the same ability. We attract opportunity that vibrates to our frequency. So don't settle for the average when you are on top. And don't feel sorry for a missed opportunity, because it means that the best for you is yet to come.